Howdy everyone, and welcome back to the Luna Geeks Out channel. Today we are returning to a band that we've checked out a couple times on the channel, A Crowd of Rebellion, with their track ALVA. This will be my fourth time listening to them, third time on the channel. We've previously checked out their tracks Recreate of the Red, which was fantastic, and Room Key, which did not do it for me, unfortunately. I've also heard their song M1917, which I also really liked. So, with this song, the last track I checked out from the Room Key, like I said, did not do it for me, but it was a really cool track. There's a lot of different stuff happening within that it was wild to hear everything come together. There's a lot of emotion within that song, so there was a lot of stuff to like about it. It just wasn't necessarily for me. So going into this, I've got really high hopes for the quality and the interest of it. I think it's going to be some somewhat weird music that I'm going to end up really enjoying checking out and really enjoy talking about. But as far as my enjoyment of it, just on a basic musical level of, like, is it a song I like? I am a little tentative on that, unfortunately, because the other tracks I heard from them, in 1970 especially, took a while for me to really get into. And the last one, I just didn't enjoy. So I am a little tentative on that, but I do think it's going to be an interesting track regardless, and I am excited to see what it will be like. I have no idea if I said the song name yet. I mean, y'all have seen the title, but I'll just say it again. We're checking out the track ALVA. I think I said that already, but I'm not entirely sure. But anyways, yeah, excited to check this out. So without further ado, let's hop into it. Alright, definitely getting a bit more heaviness in here. I think there's going to be a bit more my kind of thing. Really good drums so far. Cool sound of it. They're weird, but cool. Heavy distortion on the vocals, very nice. That's a shift. Okay. Just doing some weird sounds, I like it. Feeling a bit disjointed? I'm liking the different elements. Nice guitar right there. I'm gonna get that volume up a little bit. That was a little lower than I normally have it at. Yeah, cool sound in the background there. Ooh, good bass. Ooh, I like this bit right here. Ooh, some strings, very nice. I don't know if y'all heard it, but there's like a sort of rising up, like drone in the background of that breakdown. Really cool sound. Yeah, great breakdown in general. Well, that was cool. Is that a saxophone? Cool vocal layering there with the cleans and harsh vocals coming together. Like that. Alright. Yeah, definitely an interesting song. A bit chaotic, a bit disjointed. Had a lot of great elements. I'm gonna have to sit with this one some more, get a full feel for it. But off the bat, I'm enjoying it. Not my favorite I've heard from them, but I certainly liked it better than the last one. Just bit too disjointed, I'd say. But I'll dive into all of that a bit more later on. Of course, first we need to talk about the lyrics to this one, because there's a lot to dive into with those. Starting off, I want to give a shout out to Ranka. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing their username right. They have once again left an English translation of the lyrics in the comments down below, which is incredibly helpful for this. So, major shout out and major thank you to them for doing that. But let's just start going through this line by line, starting off at the very beginning. They started pouring out, so I closed my eyes. Essentially the idea of a lot of emotion and such coming out, so just trying to shut off something, alright? Closing your eyes to shut off some sensory element coming in to minimize what's happening, so that at least I can certainly understand. The obvious pitch black darkness assails me, rendering me immobile. Ties into the idea of shutting your eyes, you know, all of a sudden everything's dark. But also, darkness, of course, a metaphor for various mental health struggles and everything, all of that coming down and essentially freezing them and rendering them immobile, as it says they're all of a sudden unable to deal with all of this. Having a dream which I can't wake up from, my life gets tied down again. Dreams, of course, normally very positive things, right? Your hopes, your goals, your aspirations, things such as. But a dream you can't wake up from, your life gets tied down again. You're so caught up in achieving this dream that it becomes all you can focus on. It becomes all that is there, and you get tied up in it, as the lyrics somewhat put it. No one knows what the future holds. Someone talking to the narrator of the song. You're telling me that? I know. So the idea that, yeah, no one knows what's going to happen in the future, so you don't need to worry about it. They know that. They sure can't help but worry about something that I think all of us can understand. I'm going to break open the fate. The idea of, taking this future and just kind of tearing it apart, breaking it open, as it says there. Breaking the fate that already exists, but breaking it open, opening it up, revealing it. A lot of ideas thrown together. A bit of an idea of sort of seizing control of it as well. So a lot of stuff wrapped up within that. I'm not going to lose. You and I, we're not without fault. This is the war. We will survive. The ideas of fighting, of war, of conflict, very common within this song. Something we actually saw in the music video with the whole sort of apocalyptic, destroyed city, sort of the aftermath of a war perhaps, but of course you see the survivors in that aftermath. They're not going to lose, they're going to keep going, they're not going to give up, different ideas like that. You and I, we're not without fault. Ties in a little bit to some stuff we see later in the song. Very important thing just to remember in general, that people are not perfect. We all have flaws, and so it's important to remember that. This is the war, we will survive. Ties back into I'm not going to lose. Again, they're going to keep going. They're not going to let all this conflict get them down. Different things like that. From now on, our palms will overlap many times. A few different ideas in there. Later on in the song, we get ideas of a relationship, and so perhaps there's an idea of, holding hands, a quite literal physical overlapping of palms, but also it calls to mind palm reading, which I know next to nothing about, so forgive me if I'm misremembering, discussing some things incorrectly with this, but I'm pretty sure this is like do some kind of fortune telling the future, something or other. So perhaps an idea of that as well, that their fates, their futures are going to overlap. Something that, of course, the idea of fate and the future and so on and so forth, very common within this song. We're going to start walking, right? Ties into the idea of, this journey of life, of going towards the future. The idea that they're going to start going down that path. Into, I believe, the chorus, but I don't really know. It's not split up here in the comment what section is what. But into the next section, spilled emotions are vivid ultramarine. Ultramarine, had to look this up. Essentially, it's just a very rich shade of blue. So, vivid ultramarine, this rich color. Blue, of course, often associated with negative emotions as far as, metaphor and such goes, right? Depression, sorrow, sadness, so on and so forth. Blue also associated with water, ties into the idea of spilled emotions, so a few different layers within that. We only shared tears, didn't we? Ties into both the idea of water I discussed and the idea of negative emotions. The 5 large flowers at the end of the journey. We will make the flowers bloom. Lest we forget, let's start with our overlapped hands. Flowers, of course, an idea of beauty, so perhaps they're going to create some level of beauty within the world. Overlapped hands ties into the our palms are overlapped many times idea. But then, lest we forget, when I was first reading through this, we're just like, World War I moment, right? Got the idea of flowers tying in with that. Made me think of poppies and everything. I actually, you can see some right behind me there. I'm not gesturing to that very well, but of course, that's just the immediate connection my mind made for somewhat obvious reasons. But as I looked back through this, I was like, wait, no, there are ideas of war within this, sort of a metaphor for different struggles in life and such. So perhaps that lest we forget idea is a deliberate connection, the idea of, the Great War serving as a metaphor for various struggles within life. Not a lot I can grab from that, just because it's not delved too deeply into in the song, but certainly some interesting stuff. Into the next section, I was betrayed, so I covered my ears. I don't have a lot to grab with the betrayed section for this discussion right here. I will expand upon it a little bit in just a second. But the so I covered my ears ties back into at the beginning of the song, so I closed my eyes. Again, the idea of shutting off some level of sensory intake, blocking off some portion of the world, on one hand to make things easier for you perhaps, but it is still blocking something off. Into the next section, believe them, or the next line in this section rather, believe them, believe who, I don't understand, so just laugh. Hey, believe who ties into the idea of being betrayed. After you're betrayed, who are you supposed to trust? Who are you supposed to believe? Who's really on your side, right? I don't know what to say for the I don't understand, so just laugh line. I don't understand. And now I'm laughing. This is weird. I don't have much to say on that one. I'm not grabbing anything with that, so I can't really comment on it too much, but the believe them, believe who does tie into the earlier stuff, so certainly worth noting. The promised words won't reach the kid who prays for the present moment. The idea that for the person focusing only on the present, focusing only on what is currently happening, focusing only on the now, the future, they may not be preparing for it, and so what is set to happen in the future may not reach them, in a sense. So there may be further failure and further issues in the future because they're not preparing for it, ideas like that. Amidst the overflowing screams, all mark the present moment for you, ties back into that, focusing on the present moment. Overflowing screams ties back into a lot of the emotional elements we've been seeing in this song. So a few different elements within there, not a lot to say on them, but some different stuff within there. A modest love, a warm friendship, ideas of, just a deep connection with this person. These medicine, they won't be found in any ICU. So the idea of the healing power of this connection. You with me, we exceed past the mute lust. Their relationship essentially goes beyond sort of that immediate physical desire, if you will. Just one person is not enough. When I was reading through this right before filming this, I was grabbing the idea of, well, they've got this one person in their life, but maybe they need more people as well. But looking back at everything, what I think is happening here is instead the idea that no one can survive on their own. They do need someone else with them, supported by the next bit. You stayed by my side at any one time. You stayed by my side. The idea that this person was with them throughout it all. So my initial interpretation of that one line, just one person is not enough, I think is wildly incorrect. I do think it is the idea that no one can survive on their own. We do need support from other people. And this person, the idea of modest love or friendship, these medicine that will be found in any ICU. Again, going past sort of the immediate physical stuff to a deeper connection. This person that the narrator of the song is talking about provides that. I don't know what word to use. Provides what I've been talking about here. So some good stuff there. Hope's palmed off, ties back to, of course, the idea of palms and hands that we've been seeing within the song, but as Hope's passed off, essentially, Hope's pushed aside, gotten rid of, brandished pain, nothing but nuisance losers. Those, again, not a lot to say with all of that. I think we do get a little bit of the ideas of this stuff kind of coming down upon them, of the betrayal, so on and so forth. But a lot of that builds up this next line. Written down here, FXXK, exclamation mark, all caps. Of course, we all know what that means. Just a loud, sudden release of anger, of pain, of emotion, just all of a sudden getting it out there. I didn't actually notice it in the song, but I think we're all familiar enough with metal and metalcore that we can imagine the kind of release you'd be seeing within the music. It's just, like I said, a release of that sudden emotional pain set up by the stuff that precedes it. Not a lot to say on all of that, but certainly some stuff within there. The sun broke open the night which never dawned. A similar idea that we saw within Clouds Across the Moon a couple days ago. These ideas of light and darkness as references for different struggles. Of course, the darkness, the sun breaking through it, so bringing back in that warmth and that goodness. It was meant to dawn, didn't do that, so you didn't get this slow reveal, but it ultimately broke through regardless. Of course, broke open also ties back into, where's the line? I'm gonna break open the fate, so a callback there. Put on the white garments. I don't have much to say there, unfortunately. Wake up, it's time to wake up. I'll be right here. Ties back into having a dream I can't wake up from, so they're getting out of this sort of set path they've put upon themselves, finding a bit more freedom and such. Also, I'll be right here. Ties back into You Stayed By My Side earlier in the songs, a few callbacks. And then right at the end, goes back to one of the sections from earlier. Vivid ultramarine spilled emotions. We only shared tears, didn't we? The 5 large flowers at the end of the journey. We will make the flowers bloom. Let's start with our overlapping hands. Same ideas, words shifted around slightly. Not a lot to expand upon with that. There's probably some significance with the number 5, and that's the kind of thing that I know next to nothing about. Different meanings behind different numbers and such. So I can't comment on that. If y'all happen to know what that would mean, do let me know. I'd love to hear it. But unfortunately, I just don't know what that could actually mean. But overall, some good lyrics here. Ideas of, a deep connection with a person. The person has helped them through struggles in life. Trying to get out of sort of the rut you found yourself in, the path you found yourself in, finding newfound freedom, so on and so forth. My battery is running low, so I may have to pause and charge this in a moment. So if there is a weird cut later on, I do apologize for that. But I'm going to keep going for now. But yeah, a lot of good ideas within this song. Not quite as clear, perhaps, as some of the songs we've checked out on this channel, but I think there's a lot of different stuff to grab from this, a lot of good stuff within this. So yeah, I quite like the lyrics within this. So with the analysis out of the way, let's now shift over to talking about the music, which I certainly have some thoughts on. Like I said, I liked this more than the previous track we checked out, Room Key, but I did also have some issues with it. We'll dive into that later on. First, of course, we need to go through the individual elements, starting off with the vocals. I was right, I ran out of battery. Anyways, I was about to talk about the vocals in this song. I'm a little conflicted on those. The harsh vocals I thought were fantastic. No surprise there. I tend to be pretty open towards different styles with those, and enjoy most harsh vocals. So no surprise that I liked those. I thought there's some great moments, some great just weird sounds and stuff, which is always super fun. The breakdown especially, I thought the vocals were fantastic in that, and there are a few moments they blended with the clean vocals that I thought were amazing. The clean vocals I am much more mixed on. Unfortunately, there were definitely some moments where I thought they worked, where there was a lot of emotion that came forth within them and everything, and again, the parts where they blended together with the harsh vocals were absolutely beautiful. But on the whole, they didn't quite do it for me in this song. No, the clean vocalist, unfortunately, I don't know their name. Just has a vocal style that just doesn't really do it for me, unfortunately. I've really liked it in some of the stuff I've heard from them, not liked it in some of the other stuff. And I think it's just sort of a song-by-song basis kind of thing. I don't think there's anything specifically wrong with what they do. It's just one of those instances where I don't necessarily like something all that much, and I mean, stuff like that is going to pop up in music, of course. It's a shame it's happening in a band as exciting and as interesting as A Crowd of Rebellion, but I don't think it actually it went and ruined this song by any means. I just think it's going to mean that this one is not one of my favorites from them by any means. So I certainly believe that this one is going to grow on me a bit more as I sit with it and just get a better feel for what the vocals are doing here and get more used to them. But yeah, vocals in this had some phenomenal moments, but they also had some moments that just didn't quite do it for me, so a little mixed on those. The guitar, pretty good. There weren't any like big riffs I really liked or anything like that, but it just had some good work, good tone. Not a lot to say on it. It wasn't the most apparent part of the music for me, but I thought the guitar was decent in this. Bass had a few fantastic moments. Rest of the time, just providing some good backing. Again, not a lot to say on it, but I did enjoy the bass in this. Drums, probably my favorite part of the music. Super, super good drums. They had a good bit of that just sort of technical nature that I really like. Some good speed, some good complexity, but also just some good solid beats in there as well. Good force, good power behind them. Drums felt really nice. I fully mean that. Like, I could feel the drums, and I really liked it. Yeah, great drumming in this track. I can't think of any moments specifically that I really enjoyed, but there were some great moments in there. There were some strings in there. I really liked those. I thought that was a good extra bit in the music. I thought that was quite nice. Good bit of extra texture in some moments. Good bit of extra depth in some moments. Definitely strings are one of those instruments that can really strike with that emotional level, which I think worked really well in this song. So I thought those were a great addition. And then there were like some sort of like ambient electronic kind of drone kind of things. Really liked those as well. I thought those provided some great texture to the music that tied a lot of different stuff together. On the whole, this was a song that had some fantastic moments. Like I said a few times, the breakdown, super good. A couple of things, there was that one bit where the bass really became apparent that I really liked. There was a few bits of guitar work that I thought were nice, so on and so forth. But it just felt very disjointed. It felt like there was a lot of different moments and different movements and everything that it was just like, I don't know, it felt like just kind of throwing a bunch of things together and just seeing what happened. And there's some chaotic and some disjointed songs that are really good, and some that really work with that style. I don't think this was one of those. There are a lot of great elements in here, but I think they needed to fit together a lot more tight and a lot more neatly. I think if this had been a little less chaotic, there had been a little less happening in the song, I think it would have been a bit better. Or if it was a longer song, so we had all those different elements, but we had more time to sit with them and really go through them and have them shift between each other more smoothly, I think that would have been really good as well. What we got almost felt like sort of a proof of concept of different sections thrown together to create sort of almost like a demo of these different sections. Instead of just a unified work, and that's the big issue I have with this song, where it's not like Room Key that we checked out last time, where it's like it's got some good stuff in it, I just don't enjoy it. This is a song that has so much potential, so many cool elements, so many words that I really got into, some really good energy that just feels not wasted, but it doesn't feel realized, if that makes any sense. There's so much stuff in here that they could have done something more with that it feels like they didn't. And it's certainly a little disappointing, especially since the first 2 songs I heard from them were so good, with different sections and shifting around between them and making everything come together really tightly. So yeah, definitely a little mixed on this song. I liked it. It had some good stuff, but man, it really could have been something more, and it just wasn't, unfortunately, which I'm really sad to say, because, like I said, there was a lot of promise to this, but this one was just, it was just a bit off, I guess would be a good way to finalize that idea. Just slightly off. Yeah, I don't know, I don't have much more to say. I think I'm just going to wrap up the review here. Definitely was a lot of good stuff in this, but a lot of stuff that didn't work as well. But I am out of things to say on the song, so y'all know the drill. It's now time to discuss what we will be checking out next time, and we are still working our way through Sleep Token's new album, Take Me Back to Eden. And so tomorrow we will be checking out The Apparition, a song that I'm pretty sure I've heard stuff about, but I do not remember any of it, so I do not know what to expect with it. It's one of the longer ones, if memory serves correctly, which I think is going to make me happy. The long songs off of this album, while not all of them have been amazing, I certainly have some issues with the summoning. They've all been very interesting. Lot of weird stuff happening in them. If this one keeps that up, I think I'm going to be pleased. Even if it is more the level of the summoning, where, much like the song we checked out today, it's a bit disjointed, I think there's going to be some good stuff going on in there. And if it's like Ascensionism, it's going to be incredible. So, yeah, The Apparition next time. Pretty sure that's the song we have. I checked it earlier, and I've already forgotten. Pretty sure it's The Apparition. Gonna be good stuff, hopefully. I mean, the Sleep Token, I'm gonna like it, but it'll be a good time, for sure. So yeah, hopefully I will see y'all there for that tomorrow. But, that is going to do it for the reaction, so thank y'all for watching. Be sure to like if you liked, subscribe if you want to see more, and comment down below with your own thoughts on the track, and feedback or criticism, or anything you want me to react to. In the description, link to the music video so you can go check it out, support the artist. Link to my Crowd of Rebellion reactions playlist, my Japanese music reactions playlist, and my rock and metal reactions playlist, so you can check out some similar content from me. And then links to my Discord server, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify playlists of all the songs I've reacted to, at least the ones up on Spotify. And my link tree, which has all my other stuff in it, in case any of that interests y'all. Anyways, like I said, that's going to do it. So once again, thank y'all for watching, and until next time, I'll be seeing ya.